All right, guys, welcome back to another video. All right, another stories of my father. Like I said, coming up on his anniversary of his death, and I've been thinking about him and just wanted to throw these videos out there and kind of show you guys how he shaped who I am, shaped who I became, and helped me get through a lot of things in life, and also kind of give you an insight to who I am, because I'm very much like my father. I'm very direct, I'm very blunt, I'm right straight to the point, and I love people enough to give them the truth. And sometimes that gets read the wrong way and that gets taken the wrong way, but at the end of the day, it's all out of love, and everything he did for me was out of love, and this story is no exception to that. So I believe I have a lot of advice to give to people. I have a lot of experience, and I enjoy giving this stuff to you guys, and I enjoy telling these stories so that maybe you guys can get something out of it. Like I said, I thirst for knowledge every single day. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of interviews. I try to learn from other people's situations and try to learn from their stories, things that I can take and apply to my life, and I hope that you guys will do that. I feel like I have a lot of experience and a lot of advice and a lot of knowledge over 54 years, and frankly, no one in my life will listen to me. So it's I just don't think people are really fully tapping into the wealth of information and advice and knowledge that I could provide, and so this is a way for me providing it to people, and hopefully you guys get something out of it. So keep in mind, my dad, like I said, he never stopped teaching. No matter how old I was, this story takes me, going to fast forward up to when I'm like 30 years old. He never stopped teaching me, never stopped being a parent to me. It didn't matter if I was 10 or if I was 30 or if I was 40. He was always going to teach me life lessons. And it didn't matter that he was a flawed individual. Like I said, he was an alcoholic his whole life. It didn't matter that he made mistakes as a parent or made mistakes as a human being. It didn't matter that he made mistakes. He was still not going to give up on his job to teach me as a child, no matter how old I was. And this is something for you parents. You don't have to be a perfect parent. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have flawed parts of who you are. But at the end of the day, your responsibility is to your children, and you still have to continuously try to teach them to do what's right. And even if you've made mistakes, don't allow the fact that, well, who am I to talk? You know, I did this wrong and I did that wrong. No, you are someone to talk, because you know what it's like to do it wrong and suffer the ramifications of doing things that are wrong. So therefore, you have every right to talk about it with your kids. People think the difference, people say, you know, a teacher is someone who knows what the wrong path is. You know, people say you're a hypocrite because, well, you did this, you did that, so how can you say that? No, I'm not a hypocrite. Hypocrite is say someone who does something, tells you to do something different, and then continues to do that. A teacher is someone who has done it wrong, learns what the right way is, and then now preaches the right way. That's a big difference of two people. So don't give up on yourselves as parents out there, okay? So, all right, so piggyback off yesterday, the divorce thing, and a lot of this stuff is cyclical, because a lot of these stories go back to other stories, so keep that in mind. So we're going to fast forward. I'm 30 years old. I won custody of my daughter, had a relationship with her mom. She was a drug addict, would not get off the drugs, so I decided to leave and went to court and won full custody and full placement of my daughter. She was 2 years old at the time when I won custody of her. And like I said, nowadays I would never suggest it to people, because I know when my dad left, it caused issues with me, because divorce is hard on kids. It was hard on me, and it's hard on my daughter at the time. She's 2 years old, but as she gets older, it's going to continue to be hard on her, and I recognize that. So now my advice to you is, if you're in a marriage and things aren't working out and you don't get along or whatever, if there's no physical abuse, it's just that you don't get along, you disagree on things, or, you know, she don't rub your back, or, you know, he don't open doors for you, or whatever the hell it is, I'm sorry, but you got to suck it up, buttercup. You got to stick it out for the kids, because even though you may leave and still be in your child's life, and you're like, well, I'm still in their life and I'm still spending time with them, and, you know, nothing's really changed, there's still going to be some changes that they're going to feel that you'll never be able to get away from. And there's still going to be some resentment always from them that you left. So I do not advise divorce unless there's physical abuse. So fast forward, I'm living with my parents. They graciously allowed me to live there and save some money, and my mom was watching her my daughter during the day so I could work. So I'm living there, whatever. But I'm still messed up in my head because in my mind, I've had 2 failed marriages. Now, I wasn't married to my daughter's mother, but when I was 20, I was married. I got married when I was 20. Maybe I'll tell that story sometime. But I got married when I was 20, and I got divorced when I was 21. So in my mind, I've had 2 failed marriages, and I'm a single father of a kid. So I'm 30 years old. Like, what am I doing with my life? So I'm messed up in the head. I still got the thing going on from the abuse. Go watch the last video on that. Still got stuff messed up in my head from the divorce. Go watch the divorce video on that. And so I'm not acting real good at this time in my life. I'm drinking a lot, so I'm getting in a little trouble here. Nothing real serious, but so I end up getting arrested and spend the night in the jail. Nothing really serious, but just doing some stupid stuff I shouldn't be doing, and got arrested, spent the night in jail. I got to call my dad to pick me up. Okay, now granted, I'm living with my dad. Okay, me and my daughter, and me and my dad and my stepmom, which is I call my real mom. So my dad has to come pick me up. I got to call him. That's already the worst phone call I could ever make in the world, is call him to have him come get me from jail. So he comes get me, just like my dad. No matter how many times I stumbled, no matter how many times I messed up, he still came and picked me up. But it would be with a little talk. To try to figure out, what's going on with you? Like, well, what's happening with you? Why are you doing this? So he picks me up from jail, asked me what happened. I gave him some BS story. He didn't believe it, whatever. He's like, look, let's stop at a bar and, have a drink. Get to this bar, and I'll never forget where it's at. It's 13th in Cleveland, right across from the Aldi, used to be Aldi grocery store. It's a bar there, kitty corner from that strip club, the Camelot. 13th in Cleveland. Stop there, have a drink, sits me down, looks me dead in the face, and he says, what's going on with you? You are heading down a destructive path right now, and you need to get your head out of your ass. He said, you have a daughter at home that you're responsible for now. This isn't just about you anymore. Like, those days are over. You're not single. This isn't about you. You took on this responsibility to be a single father, and your daughter depends on you. She's got nobody else. Her mom was never in the picture her whole life. Certainly not in her picture at this time, at this point in time. She's got nobody else. All she has is you. And if you think you're going to run out here and act like a fool and do all these things and not be a good person and not think about your daughter at home, I won't stand for it. And he looked me dead in my eyes and he said, if you won't take good care of her, me and your mother will go to court and we'll take her away from you. And he looked me dead in my eyes and said, and don't think I won't. Don't think I won't. And I knew who my dad was. My dad was if he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. And it was interesting because I'm 30. He doesn't care. I'm not a 15-year-old kid. I'm a grown man. I can do whatever I want. But at the end of the day, I'm still his son, and he's still going to try to correct me when I'm doing wrong and tell me the truth. Hey, you're in the wrong here. He didn't care if I didn't like what he had to say. He didn't care if I hated him and never talked to him ever again. Like, there's none of these touchy-feely things where, hey, look, if you don't want to talk to me ever again because I'm going to tell you the truth, that's on you. But I'm going to tell you the damn truth right now, right to your face. And he said, look, if you don't straighten up and get your act together, me and your mom will take her away from you and we'll raise her, because somebody needs to raise that girl. And it was a point in my time where he woke me up and I needed to be woke up. Like I said, I was drinking a lot. I was dealing with a lot of things. Another thing he said, I know you're dealing with this failed relationship and you tried everything you could. And I know you're dealing with, the divorce when I had to leave your mom. And I know you're dealing with the abuse that happened to you when you were 10. But he said, you got to get over it. You got to get over it, because you have a much bigger responsibility right now. And your daughter needs a healthy you, is what he said. Your daughter needs a healthy you. So you need to be strong and you need to be healthy so that your daughter can be raised in a loving home and have a father that's there for her, by her side. And from that day forward, I made a change, stopped doing the hoodlum stupid stuff I was doing, and I started putting all my focus into raising my daughter. Like I said, single dad her whole life, and that's when I made a change. And I got my act together, and I realized that the one thing that's most important to me in my life, that I have a job and a responsibility to, and that's my daughter. So, and thankfully for my dad, he was willing to put me in my place that day. And we finished our beers, and we drove home, and I hugged her. I don't think I ever hugged her that tight, to be honest with you. I don't think I ever hugged her that tight, because my dad saved me from going down a very dark path, and I love him for it, and I miss him. So thanks for watching.